Recording is on.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's enjoying their Friday. Give me a few seconds while I share these posts, and we'll quickly get started here. It ain't gonna be that long of a one. We'll try to keep this short, sweet, to the point. But who knows? It might get longer. We all know me, right? All right, we're good to go. Everything's shared where I want it. Oh, I thought I was muted again. Back, I better check. I shouldn't be. I think I got all my audio settings straight for once. Maybe I don't. I must have bumped my gain. Okay, it's fixed now. Kind of turned my gain down because I got dryer going in the background. But like I said, I want to talk about, day 4. Can't even get a Speaker of the House. Although this last trip got closer, but as the title states, McCarthy, sell me your vote or your soul. Which this is nothing new, guys. This happens all the time. They lobby back and forth, making deals, backhanded deals, sometimes deals against their parties. It's been happening since the beginning, honestly. There's no mystery in that, but I think it's a two-edged sword. Because if we would do something like that, we could be charged with bribery or intimidation of an elected official or attempting to bribe an elected official. Depending on the charge, it could be a federal or it could be a felony state level. But we do something like that. That's what it is. I mean, he's making promises. I'll make sure you get on this chair or in this committee. I just want your vote. So basically, they're telling me, sell me your soul and I'll give you for your vote. I mean, it's kind of sickening, kind of ridiculous. I mean, we talk about the corruptions, we talk about it being the swamp. It ain't the swamp, it's the cesspool. Now, I just read a little bit ago before I went live, now even Gates is talking about he's getting to where he can vote for McCarthy. Of course, they adjourned. I mean, they did. I mean, damn, how many times you got to get turned down? 13 times? So they adjourned it because, I mean, half the people in Congress and the House wasn't even there today. That's the part that's sickening. Because we elect them and our taxpayer dollars goes to them, not to sit at home or screwing their mistresses or whatever they're doing. Their job is to be in Congress when it is in session. Their job is to be present, read the bills, vote, make decisions, not sit on their couches or lay in their beds or screw their mistresses or misters or their doms, whatever. And in some cases, probably worse than that. But, hey, we're not going there. But let's adjourn till 10 o'clock tonight. What? They had no problem going almost 7 o'clock yesterday. Oh, but the two people, I would, well, they're saying McCarthy will have two people show up that isn't there. Well, they should have been there in the first place as soon as the session opened. And that's where I got a problem with this whole mockery. I mean, really, this is the 2023 version of Jerry Springer, of what we're watching. If you've been watching it, it's Jerry Springer. It really is. But that's where I think everybody should. I don't know if you're just not seeing it or you just don't care anymore. You should be very mad when our elected officials aren't at the House doing their job, especially for an important vote for a Speaker of the House. Somebody's going to control the House. I think that's very important. It's obvious very important because, we've set some historical records. 160 years worth of records. I don't see us surpassing the one now. Actually, I don't even get, if he gets two people to show up, that changes the number. So he'll need 218. With two people showing up, that only gives him 216. So he's got to sway two more people to reach that magic number. But if Gates is talking about he's close to being able to vote for, and that's what I think. Everybody glorifies these people. They're no different. Gates sells out as soon as he gets what he wants, or gets promised what he wants. Whether he actually gets it or not is a different story. They don't care. They just want what they want, not what you want, not what you put them in there for. Because I think the majority of Americans, but the majority of people does not want to see McCarthy. I could be wrong. I know I don't. Because he's a traitor. He stabs people in the back left and right. Go look at his voting records. Go look at what he said on January 6th. Is that who you want to be Speaker of the House? That's going to represent the whole House? McCarthy will be no different than Pelosi. In fact, he might be a little bit more evil. I didn't think we could get any evil than Pelosi, but hey, who knows? Maybe we can. Obviously, we're not cleaning up the swamp because we're just putting another swamp monster right in its place. But I get it. I think most of you are about like me. We're tired of the politics. We're tired of being lied to. We're just tired of all around of the crap that they keep feeding us. People are like, well, there's no. Listen to Tim Pool earlier when he was alive, because he's been playing around with deciding he wants to do a morning live stream. Which, I'm 50-50 on. Normally, I just listen to his podcast for a 2-hour commute. Or when he's got somebody on that's got something interesting to say that I want to hear. Other than that, no. But he was like, no, it's Friday, it's a slow day, there's really no news besides this. It's the most important thing going on. No, it's not the most important thing that's going on. To be honest with you, the Iraqi Supreme Court basically issued a warrant, an arrest warrant for Donald Trump for assassinations. I mean, granted, it's more symbolic than anything. It's not going to go nowhere. But, they could push it even farther and push for war crimes. And then on this day of all days, January 6th, we all know the story of January 6th. Or we half-ass know the story because there's so many different stories out there. You don't really know what to believe. Actually, I almost did a completely different podcast. Information. The power of information. But Ashley Bobbitt, his mother was arrested for jaywalking out in D.C. today on the anniversary of her daughter's death by Capitol Police. Let's talk about blatant disrespect, slap in your face. While the whole time we got the Jerry Springer show going on in the House, this happens. Didn't hear a single senator mention it. Yeah, we've heard a few mention calling people insurrectionists. You know what the mockery of that is? We still have a person walking the streets that Congress didn't give a rat's ass about the push for thorough investigation of a pipe bomber the day before January 6th. Now they tried to keep that all up covered up and under the rug because it doesn't fit their narrative and political agenda of defacing the American people, devaluing them, subjugating them. And the bigger story, what's happening in the Supreme Court today? Granted, we're not going to hear the results from that till probably around till Monday. But that's big because that is January 6th. I mean, there is potential. I hear a lot of people talking about it, and I have no faith in our Supreme Court, not one bit. They failed us too many times. And there's still sitting members on there who failed us when it came to corporations being able to spend as much money as they want to buy elections. So, no, I have no faith in our Supreme Court to make a right decision at any time. They do, thankfully. I mean, I'm a product of one of their decisions that actually happens every year around this time. Because Ohio doesn't want to follow the Constitution or follow the Supreme Court. So, there is that. But their ruling could actually bring arrest warrants for members of Congress and the Biden administration. Will it happen? Hell no. I'd love to be able to eat my words on this one, but it's not going to happen. And I think we all know that. We talk about it. Yeah. But the conversation of that, well, who's going to actually arrest the congressmen and women? Because now we enter a little loophole in the law. While the House is in session, they couldn't be arrested anyway. They just can't walk right up in there and arrest them. They're actually protected while they're in session. But most people don't have time to know all the laws, and they're ever changing, so it's impossible. We still got laws on the books that shouldn't be on the books. Hey, there's a law, I can't remember what state. You can't pour beer down a fish's mouth. Why do we even have that law? No, seriously, guys, it is a law. I don't know why it's a law. I mean, but then again, we don't have common sense anymore either, so Maybe we need it. Maybe there is some idiots who'll pour beer down. Why? So, do I believe it? Can I be charged for making beer batter to fry my fish in? I mean, what a joke. Actually, I think it might be North Carolina. I can't remember, but it's one of those stupid laws. There's a bunch of them. There's old laws still on the books that haven't been replaced. But it's funny. I mean, look at the mockery. The majority of our representatives aren't there when the House is in session. Same thing happens in the Senate. When the Senate's in session, majority of them aren't there. Why? Because, well, they can proxy vote. No, I can't proxy my ass and pretend it's at work and get paid for it. If I'm not at work, I'm getting pointed or wrote up or warned. If I'm late, I'm getting pointed, wrote up, or shit, if I'm sick and I don't have vacation days, because this is what happened to me all that time I was sick this year. Got sick in December, dealing with the flu. Then I had 2 abscessed teeth and ended up having a double root canal. So I was off almost the whole December. I had 2 vacation days. Then the Friday I was going to go back, or my Thursday, we had that snowstorm that was supposed to be all that. It really wasn't. But my 2-hour commute, if I would have left, I would have more than likely got stranded around Fort Wayne going into Ohio. Because the roads were that bad. I have friends in that area, and they're like, don't get on the roads. I mean, the National Guard was actually ordered out. But that was the point. Because state of Ohio, and then really the state of Indiana, neither one really didn't go past the level 1 or great, or I can't understand. I don't know Indiana that well. So I took a point, which come to find out, the point that was supposed to come off 1st of December didn't, so I ended up getting pointed out. Because you still get a half a point even with a doctor's slip if you don't have vacation. Which is a joke. They work us 10-hour days, so it takes 10 points to equal a day. So if you get sick anytime and have to use a vacation day, there's 10 points gone, and it takes a minute to bring it back up. It took me 7 months should have been 7 months to regain my points. But yet, Congress, they can sit at home, do what they want, go screw their mistresses, go on vacation, not a vacation, they wouldn't say it's a vacation, and proxy their vote. Don't have to be there. Or just don't show up at all and don't vote. But yet, we get punished. Now, there's rules and laws for us when we don't show up to work. I find that the most ridiculous thing Congress can get away with. They're supposed to be in an office of trust. We trust that they're going to be there when the House and Senate is in session to do their jobs. That's what we elected them to do. That's what it means to be our representative. You're to be there when these hearings are going on, when these bills and legislations are going on. You're to be there to write legislation that we voted you in for. Not sit at home on your couch, watch TV, binge watch Netflix or whatever. Spend your whole day tweeting on Twitter, posting on social media. No, I honestly think anybody that caves into McCarthy for convincing everybody to adjourn because he'll have the 2 people at 10 o'clock, if they ain't there now, they're not going to be there at 10. There's no excuse for it. But he's spending the rest of the day taking people out to dinner, lunch, listening to what they want, trying to buy their souls for their vote. He's trying to get them to sell their souls for their vote. What do you need? What do you want? What's it going to take to get your vote? Enough of that crap. That's bribery. Enough of the corruption. The backhanded dealings. Is that why we keep electing you guys? Is that why we keep electing new people in there just to become like the rest of the swamp? No, I have no faith in any of them. They're all guilty. Every last one of them. Yeah, we got 6. They keep throwing different new names up, or two of which I think pretty much was stuck with her in the rest of the trip. But you're not helping. You got to find somebody that the rest of your constituents and the other side constituents can get behind. You got to break the lines. We don't have politicians. We have a bunch of inept followers that can't even follow. We have no leaders in Congress. We have no leaders in the Senate. We got a bunch of snake oil salesmen that'll sell you their grandmother. Or some intellectual mythology island in the Bahamas that doesn't exist. And some of you would take it. Why? Because you vote for them. I don't get it, and I need to pay attention. Okay, so even though I'm actually streaming now from actual Jet Diesel site, the streams will still cut off in an hour, but I don't think I'm going past the hour mark because I actually do have plans to do a podcast later tonight on nothing political. I want to have some fun. I want to enjoy, introduce you guys to something new that'll be fun. Because quite frankly, I'm tired of watching the Dog and Pony Show. I'm tired of seeing the same old, same old. I'm like you guys. I'm tired of it. I've also realized that no matter how much people scream for change, you got to make change happen. And nobody wants to make change happen. They're too scared. They're too afraid. It's simple. Everybody thinks when you say change that the violence, it has to be a civil war. No, it doesn't have to be any of that. That it has to do with making changes with yourself, with how you see things, how you view things. Changing what you're no longer going to tolerate, that you've tolerated up to this point. Change starts with finding people within your community that have the same, that's tired of it too, has the same idea, or can agree on things that need change that you all both can agree with. Then finding the leaders within your community with the same ideas. If everybody would do that, we could come in the primaries and put new people in and get rid of these swamp rats and swamp monsters. The cesspool. But unfortunately, like all good things, we also know peaceful protest only gets you so far. It's just like people talk about, well, the Supreme Court makes that ruling, they actually put out indictments. Well, like I said, there's the loopholes we got to get through. Then who would enforce it? I wouldn't trust the DC Metro. They're not going to enforce it. I don't think the Capitol Police will enforce it. So that falls onto the Sergeant at Arms. Well, there's actually one step farther than that. But we got to look how big of a push they've made to destroy our military, to get rid of all the alphas, all the patriots from our military. People don't think about that. And honestly, like I said, it's a mute point because I don't see it happening. I don't have that trust and faith in the Supreme Court. We definitely can't trust our House representatives. We already know we can't trust the Senate. They prove that a lot. They prove that every primary, every election cycle. Just like Biden, calling people insurrectionists, terrorists. We're the American people. We're the ones you're supposed to represent. So when you call an American citizen a terrorist or an insurgent, you have actually violated your oaths of office. Because we are innocent until proven guilty. But because you throw the word terrorist behind, well, that changes, because then you can hold them indefinitely without trial. They have limited rights. Then they use that as a fear weapon. But I am getting sick and tired of hearing my fellow brothers and sisters being called insurrectionists, terrorists. I mean, their goal is to destroy this country. That's this administration's goal. And if we can't have a somewhat united Congress, both House and Senate, it'll continue to go the same way. And it's going to continue to go the same way when you got how many people put Ukraine first. Then what did Ukraine do? Russia offered a treaty today with them. Ukraine turned it down. Why? Why would you not? How many millions, hundreds of millions have you gotten from the United States? You're making money. It's profitable to refuse a treaty with Russia. And what's the first thing he did when we gave him that money and access to more power? He did the same thing Putin did, and China's leader does, restricted the news, restricted what people can say on the internet, what can be reported on the news. He's officially entered dictator status. Congratulations to all of our congressmen and women and senators who kept giving him money, giving him more weapons. You just created another dictator, which our Congress has been quite good at throughout the years. They created Saddam Hussein. They created Osama bin Laden. It's ridiculous. That's why nobody trusts the FBI and CIA. They're too busy meddling in other countries' affairs and toppling them, creating new dictators, new soon-to-be terrorists. Because you're our friend today, but you'll be our poster boy for our enemy when we no longer need you. When we need the next idea for a war. That's our Congress. That's how our administration is going. To me, the best thing that ever happened under Trump's administration, we did not enter no new wars, no new conflicts. Finally, we had 4 years of peace, for the most part, and a big de-equalization, bringing people back. But there's dangers to that when the economy's down, or when they're spending trillions of dollars and our debt keeps growing and growing. I mean, honestly, ask yourself, do you agree with what McCarthy's doing? What they've been doing? This is not McCarthy. Pelosi did it. They all do it. Selling their votes for favors. They're basically prostituting themselves. But instead of cash, they're getting position. But hey, it's been happening since Bill quit. And I mean, hey, under the table, dealings get you to the top or make you famous or infamous. I don't know. It just makes you sick the more you watch it. Like I said, it is really, it's the Jerry Springer 2023 is what's happening in our government system. Oh, we're going to make promises to do this. Every time you make a promise, I cringe because I know you're just being a snake oil salesman, because half those promises you make is just to get somebody's vote. And it's being displayed right in front of you. And once again, at 10 o'clock, it'll be displayed again in front of you. Will McCarthy get the votes? Well, he might. And if he does, don't expect any change. They might give you a few things to pacify and distract you, but it's going to be the same old business. No different than when Pelosi ran it. Yeah, my connection is crap today. I don't know. That might be my cue to stop. Which I know this is bullshit because I've got high internet speeds and downloads. I should not be buffering at all. And I'm not. And this, actually, yeah, I'm even checking my stats over here. I've got a perfect stream going over. Stats going from connection excellent, good. I should not be buffering over here. I even got YouTube saying good connection, but I'm watching it buffer. But that's okay, because fuck you and your censorship. First off, this is being recorded live. Something I had not had the ability to do in a while unless I was using OBS, which I hate using. So it can buffer. I've got a good, clean recording. I think I know where I kind of went sideways with the conversation, why this happened, but it's okay. And then I know, let's say my current bit rate is 1,212.22 kilobytes a second, which I know is BS because I'm getting completely different statistics from Jetsy. But like I said, I don't care. Inconvenience being all you want. Remove my content, delete my channel. I don't care. You're not getting rid of me that easy. See, unlike most people, I don't run. I stand and fight. I've got backup channels ready to go. and they force me to that point, they're not going to like it. I don't back down to nobody. I don't bow a knee to no one. No one should. Ain't nobody our masters. We're not slaves. But our representatives think we are. Because they're definitely not listening to the people. I was watching it on C-SPAN. Actually, I had it on both C-SPAN and the government live from the House floor from the government site, which everybody can access. Should. Because you can see who's voting for what. You can see when they're not behind closed doors and actually live on the House floor, Senate floor. You can follow the bills and legislation that as being written. But C-SPAN actually opened up. I didn't know they did this. They opened it up, which I thought was stupid. They gave a Democratic number, a Republican number, and other number for people to call in. And from the time while I was listening, nobody was happy with what they're seeing. They were all saying the same thing, pretty much the same thing. None of them wants McCarthy. See, the constituents don't even listen to the people that they're supposed to be representing. It's maddening. What's even more maddening is all the buffering I'm getting. Like I said, worst comes to worst, I'll put up the recording. I'll take this one down and just replace it with the recording of it. It's all really what it's about anyway. But we're getting close to that mark anyway. I do plan on going live later. If I still have a channel, I'll come later. I'll go live regardless if I have a channel or not. I got backups. But I'm planning on doing urban and folklore, myths and legends. Something different. Something to get off the politics. Something we can just have fun, talk about things. Tonight's not going to be a set topic. We'll just bounce around from topic to topic, whatever comes up. I'm sure there'll be some Bigfoot, vampires, whatnot, paranormal. I do want to get into Native American folklore and history as well. Like there's historical sites that are paranormal hotspots, Gettysburg, where a lot of these battles happen. There's stories that people don't even understand that's been passed down from Native Americans about the Indians fighting the Nephilim. Those are the stuff we're going to get into. We're also even going to get into eventually. I haven't decided when. I want to sit down and actually take a little time and re-familiarize myself with the George Washington prophecies. That is a very interesting subject and topic. And we'll do those on urban legend and folklore, whatever. I can't remember the name of it, honestly. I keep saying myths and legends. It's urban and folklore. But it's something fun, something that's not political. And I plan on it. Maybe I'm going to try to do one a month. This will be this month because after probably tomorrow, podcast will be done probably for the rest of the month. So I'll be next Friday. I'm moving back home. So I got all that to do, and like I said, the internet's gonna be turned off on the 8th. So I already had plans. Actually, I had plans to be out of here before the 1st, and it didn't quite happen. But everything's gonna be winding down, and I got a bunch of stuff I got to do between unpacking, carrying down the bed and stuff. That's pretty much all that's left to tear down and stuff. The furniture and all the curtains, everything else is pretty much packed away, ready to go. And most of the stuff I'm just gonna load up in the back of the Suburban. The big stuff will go in the U-Haul. I mean, really, honestly, if it wasn't for the furniture, I could fit everything I owned in the Suburban. The washer and dryer, like I said, which is messed up because now I actually own a little bit more than I normally used to owning because I don't really need it. Now I actually have to invest in something bigger to haul it because I don't trust my dad's trailer. And I'm definitely not pulling out the racing trailer to haul anything. If I pull that out, it would be to haul the Suburban. But, like I said, it is what it is. I apologize for the buffering that looks like it's taking place. I don't know why it's happening. It shouldn't be, but I know why it's happening. I said some things that not friendly. I also noticed I have an image up that they're probably not liking either. But it's my history. It's our history. No history should be removed. There's a reason behind it. There's lessons that were learned from our history, even the darkest parts of our history, so that we don't repeat them, or so that we understand them and why they transpired and happened. Not what the politicians try to deceive us with and say happened, because it's not what happens. That's not what the history of it. But then again, history is written by the conquerors. It's written by the ruling power at the time. And they're constantly trying to change it. Then they make those changes, and it's taught to our children. But with that said, what time is it? It's almost 5:30, 7:38ish. I'll go live again with something fun. I think you guys will enjoy. Break from the politics. Something to kick off our weekend with. So, hope you guys enjoyed. You guys have a good weekend. Be safe out there. And I hope everybody's first week of the new year is going good. Mine, it's 50-50, but it's what I make of it. And, the other 50 that hasn't been so great, I'm not worried about. Because it's only going to get better as I move along throughout the year. Because I'm going to make it that way. With that, hope you guys enjoyed. You guys enjoy your rest of your evening.